Hello guys! Today, we're going to talk all about insulation. The process that makes your dream home warm and cozy. Whew! This topic might seem pretty specific, but it's so important. You should study it yourself or call for my assistance if you don't want to stay under the fan in your home all day long in the summer. Hi guys, today we're talking about insulation. We're at a place with a pretty unique setup, where all three kinds of insulation are in use. They're open foam, which we use on walls and roofs, fiberglass pads that we use between the walls, and the oily seal fire block, the foam we use to prevent fire, water, and other substances from getting in. So, you must be wondering why we're doing this video now. Because doing insulation is a really unique process in construction. It's kind of a milestone the construction teams and contractors look forward to when they know they're approaching the finalizing stage of home construction. What do I mean by many contractors look forward to it? Foam blowing, open foam and interior wadding, is something you can only do when all the important inspections have been passed. Plumbing, electrical, frame, what else? I forgot. Let me think. Other inspections that are required before you can start insulating. Usually, once you've finished and blown the insulation throughout the whole house, you can plan on just 1 month for installing drywall, and 2 to 3 months for all the other finishing touches you'll be doing. Also, 60% of your expenses will be taken care of by the time you hit the insulation stage, which is awesome. That means you can estimate what the final chunk of work is going to cost and calculate your total expenses. That's usually quite a relief. Another reason is that you won't be able to change anything after insulation. For example, you cannot change a socket, move a wall, or switch to a different window opening system once you've already done the insulation in that part of the house. It would cost way too much money to make these changes after insulating. So, not only does insulation provide good sound and water protection, and make your house toasty warm for you, it also gives you a clear vision of when your home is going to be finished by. It's an important part of home construction, and it's a super exciting stage to reach. If you want to breathe in the scent of an ongoing construction project and see how all the magic happens, you're invited to come see our construction sites and objects. Here, I'll show you how our houses are constructed, from basement building to the day we hand the house keys to our excited new homeowners. Subscribe to my channel. My contacts are in the description below. Waiting for you. There are 4 to 5 cases where you need to install insulation in a house. First, insulation is used for roof warming. In this case here, the roof is warmed with an open foam. I'll tell you later what an open foam actually is. Insulation is also used on walls to protect a house from water and sound and to make it warmer. Quick note here though, open foam isn't good at keeping moisture out. We'll talk more about that later. You also need insulation for the interior walls, and for this, you'll use a fiberglass pad. A soundproof fiberglass pad is also going to be for the ceiling between floors in the house. That way, you don't hear your kids running around upstairs while you're downstairs relaxing. It's really the best bet to always use a soundproof pad here.
Everywhere. I want to do it everywhere.
Usually, your local construction company just uses fiberglass pads for bedroom interior walls. Not many people use them for the interior walls between bathrooms. I use it everywhere, no matter where the walls are. Why? Because you're going to live for 10, 15 years, or maybe even longer in this house. Your comfort is vital. A big part of comfort is not being disturbed by echoes and other traveling sounds. When the walls aren't insulated properly, you hear a bunch of excess noise moving from room to room. The sound echoes throughout the house, and it's really just uncomfortable and hard to relax with all that noise. We want you to be as comfy as possible in your home. Now, on to everyone's favorite part, Expenses! You'll probably be pleasantly surprised this time. It only costs about $2,000 to install a soundproof pad on the walls and ceilings all around your house, providing it's about a 2,500 square feet house. Is it worth $2,000 to live a comfortable life for 10 years or even longer? I know my answer. Yes. We got one more thing you should pay extra close attention to when you're doing insulation. Do your best work around windows. You don't want a draft cooling your living room down when you're settling in to watch Game of Thrones. And one more place to be careful with is all those holes where pipes are fixed, or the outermost holes. You gotta insulate all these to make sure your house is going to be moisture-proof, soundproof, and as warm as possible. So let's talk about those different kinds of insulation I kept mentioning earlier. The first one you can use on the wall is foam. There are two types of foam though, open and close. What's the difference between them? Be patient, I'm getting there. In fact, these two names describe one type of foam, but each has a different air value. For example, the open foam has a 3.6 per inch value, whereas closed foam has a 6 per inch value. The higher the value of the foam, the warmer or colder for our Texas homes your house will be when you're done. We work with open foam under local contractors' advice. It's nice and porous, and it can easily keep air in. It keeps that hot air outside too, and doesn't let it inside, so this foam is better for our purposes. Though, the closed foam is better for homes with specific features. Anyways, there's actually one more reason we use open foam. It's cheaper. Closed foam is 30 to 40% more expensive when you're blowing your insulation. Another thing is that open foam is more flexible, which makes it easier to work with. For example, you can withdraw or add some if you need to fix wires. The closed foam creates a solid material that is hard to work with, and that can be a real pain when you need to make changes. One situation where you'd want to use closed foam, though, is if you were building a home in a more humid region. Closed foam is great at keeping moisture out. Open foam can't do that. What should you be thinking about when your contractor fixes a fiberglass pad or foam insulation? First, you should pay attention to how well they're cutting the foam. Sometimes there are leftovers after cutting. The insulation shouldn't jut out of the frame. Why? Because when drywall fixers, they have already delivered drywall, by the way, start fixing it on the wall, the foam that's jutting out of the frame will cause a drywall bubble. What's more, you're not going to be able to see that immediately. It will be visible after you've already plastered and painted the house. When those final parts of construction are done, then you see how the drywall bends out, or you'll see your tile waving if it happens in a bathroom. You may not think a little piece of material jutting out of the frame would be anything to worry about, but it definitely creates a problem later on. Also, make sure any fiberglass being installed is fixed really well. I've been left with weakly installed fiberglass before. It dropped out, and when drywall workers fixed the drywall, they left out that part of fiberglass, thus leaving the wall empty under the drywall. Once bitten, twice shy, right? Learn from my mistake and pay attention to that, guys. Do not forget to do what I've forgotten to tell you. Make sure you get a certificate of conformity from your contractor. You should ask for it when the foam and fiberglass pad are all installed. You won't be able to actually put your home in operation, get the documents you need, or get the loan to buy it without this. Banks will be asking you for this certificate. Keep that in mind and don't forget. Again, insulation is a pretty narrow topic, but it's so important. You should study it yourself or call for my assistance. We will make your home warm, comfortable, and cozy for you.